This is your moment to be the big hero.
Bad time to say this, but I don't actually have a plan. Hey, you got a little something on your... boy.
Someone call an Uber?
It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat.
And pushed him over a railing in front of a car.
Nothing Stephen Strange learned in medical school could prepare him for an attack by an evil sorceress from the fourth dimension. A villainess who can only be stopped by an earthly master of the mystic arts.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by Gems Art Studio. Gems Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find Gems Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/Gems Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another Organized Chaos podcast. My name is Bobby Quarters, and today we got a lot to talk about. Actually, it's not a lot. I'm kind of overselling it, but with me as always is Bob today. Bob, how are you?
Well, you say you're overselling it, but I think you're underselling it, because I believe once again we've made the best single episode of any podcast ever.
Yes.
And I believe I'm underselling it.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm still in awe. I dare say shock and awe that, we are able just to only build upon perfection every week.
I know. It's like this episode was perfect. Then we do the next one. It's like, how did we do that?
Yeah, but we have never been almost exactly perfect. We have always been perfect.
I know. We nail it every time. Well, this week we got some exciting stuff. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 2,
yes.
which, okay. And then we're doing the Doctor Strange-a-thon, kind of.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at Doctor Strange 1978.
Yes, it did exist.
Joy.
And no, it's not what you think
exists.
it is. It is not. You think 70s and his name is Doctor Strange. No, it's not. It's not. No.
Yeah.
It's not a dirty film.
Yeah.
Though it looked like half the time.
It had the budget of one, I believe so. But after that, we're going to finish up the last 4 episodes of Daredevil Season 4. So,
Season 1, you mean?
Exciting times.
Season 1, you mean?
Season 1, yes. Did I say the last one episode of Season 4?
Season 4, yeah.
Yeah. I can dream.
Yeah, I don't think that comes out. I don't think that comes out yet.
Yeah. That'd be nice. I mean,
it would be. Yes, it would.
I feel like I would like them to actually cement it, because I keep on feeling like it leans towards, oh yeah, that's just going to be canon, and then they go, but no, we're going to remove it from the database. And it's like, make up your minds, guys. This is actually a good show.
No, it is. It really is. But if they were going to fit it in anywhere, it would have to be, they've already introduced him in the Spider-Man universe. And I think it would have to just put into any of the Marvel or current MCU characters probably based within NYC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the Avengers are now West Coast. Well, I mean, the ones that are left, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much for Avengers right now at this moment. I think they're kind of build up to a reforming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the last Marvel report on what they're planning on doing is, I think the Secret Invasion is what they're doing next.
Well, the Secret Invasion is going to be a Disney Plus series.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's going to... It might lead into the big next Avengers movie. I assume, at least partially.
Well, like the Secret... Yeah, then that would go... No, yeah.
We'll just have to see what they're planning.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly yet, but I think the Disney CEO came out and said they aren't doing another Avengers movie, and then Kevin Feige had to come out quickly and say, of course we are. What are you talking about?
It's something similar happened actually.
Yeah, there's something very like that.
Well, music related actually. Something happened recently. Yeah, so Rolling Stone reported that the current permutation of the Grateful Dead and Company, which Dead and Company features 3 of the original members of the Grateful Dead: Bob Weir, Billy Kreutzmann, and Mickey Hart. They've been doing tour. They've been on tour probably since about 2015. Touring as an act, maybe. Rolling Stone released saying that, Dead and Company is going to stop touring, at the end of 2020. Bob Weir went to Twitter, shared the story with the caption, "That's news to me."
Yeah.
Billy Kreutzmann shared. The drummer, Bill the drummer, shared it, going, "I thought you knew something I didn't."
Yeah.
Mickey, the other living member that's in this band, later commented on the feed like, "Rolling Stone, I think it's a little late for April Fool's jokes."
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you need any better, denial of a headline, I think that the source is far better. And that was all.
So, the 3 returning members of Grateful Dead essentially said,
No. We have no plans.
Maybe it's one of the new members of the band. Maybe one of the new members of the band controls
naturally,
the band.
Grateful Dead forums, it popped up. There's pictures of the other member who is not playing with them, Phil, where it shows a picture of him on the phone and somebody typed the caption, "Hello, Rolling Stone. I have an anonymous tip for you."
Oh, God.
Now, I mean, that is funny, but I mean, there's enough bad blood and, I don't want to say bad blood, but just long issues of turmoil within the group. Yeah, I'll just put it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with most bands, I mean, they played together. Those 4 guys, including Jerry, had all played together for at least every year, or all the years that they were a band, from 65 up until Jerry's death in 95. So I can imagine, 30 years, a couple of, scuffles happening in between then.
Oh, I'm sure.
And not to mention they had a revolving door of keyboard players.
Yeah.
No, the legend is that position in the band has always been cursed.
Did they?
Well, yeah, the first keyboardist, he died of liver failure.
So it's the drummer in Spinal Tap.
Yeah, kind of. Like that legend with most bands. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But these ones are actually a little bit more eerie. With the second keyboardist, Keith, he died a year to the date after he left the band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one's a little, wow, that's eerie.
That's cursed.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the legend of it became, because he was the second keyboardist to pass. And then Brent died, the one keyboardist who pretty much played with him throughout the 80s and up until 90. He was 79 to 90. And then the last keyboardist who played with them, Vince, he died in the early 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah. But there are 2 people who have played the keys on albums and live with them who are still living. Tom Constantine, he played on one album and a small tour. And the other one who kind of filled in the gap and helped Vince, kind of mold with the band a little. This guy, he really has never done anything, so you probably won't even recognize the name. This guy, what's his name? Oh yeah, that's right. Bruce Hornsby.
Oh, Bruce Hornsby. Yeah, I've never heard of him before. Yeah. He's a nobody.
Yeah, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not gonna hear that.
Yeah, but but that's kind of a cool fact. When I kind of found that one out, I was like, oh wow,
No, I think I was looking up that recently because I was adding Bruce Hornsby to my collection. I'd already added Grateful Dead, but I think Jerry Garcia said he's an unofficial member who can play with them whenever he wants.
Yeah, there's some live footage you could find. I could send you some great YouTube links to performances of songs and maybe sets. There's a few where Vince will be on the electric keys in the back and Bruce will have the baby grand. And sometimes he'll just have an accordion and just be playing, and it's like it's Brucey, you know. Like I enjoy it. Other fans and like will kind of just it's Bruce, and I go, dude, like say what you want, but the man's a hit maker. One of my favorite things to find is the members of the Grateful Dead sitting in with other musicians. Like that's one of my favorite joys because I'm very familiar with the Grateful Dead's music, and if I see them sitting in with the band who I'm also familiar with, but their styles don't necessarily like, you know, blend seamlessly, I'm always interested to hear how that, you know, happens, because adding two different styles of musicians, they great good. Like I found one of like the last Traffic tour they did in '94. Like Jerry came out and played Mr. Fantasy with them.
Of course he.
Well, yeah, they also covered that tune.
Yeah.
Well. I mean, as a fan of both, I mean, it would have been cool if it was Low Spark. But hey, you know, that's just me.
Well,
let's. What do we have first? What do we have first today? We talking.
Well, I was about ready to say. Speaking of mixing genres, you want to talk about mix between video games and movies here?
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
Let's get into this. This was one Sonic 2. I'll admit I was hesitant on.
Yeah.
And actually, and I'm pleased to report the one reason why I was hesitant on was not even featured at all in this movie.
Really? What was the reason you were hesitant on?
I didn't want to see James Marsden counteracting with a CGI character again.
Oh, okay.
I've seen that in Hop.
That's the first one. That's so much of the first one.
Yeah. I saw that in Hop. Yeah.
Did you ever sit down and watch the first one?
No, I didn't. But I did watch like a plot summary breakdown, and I read one of it.
I would actually say it's not too important.
Yeah, like I think. I watched this from a source. A friend of mine, we found a sourced copy. I think it was from Portuguese. I think it was Portuguese, maybe, because that's what the subtitles were. And it went from kind of like a half a rip screener and a half like a cam in a theater, because there was a few halves at some points. Like it seemed like an edit of the two, but one did look like there was a section blurred out every so often.
Weird. Well, you know, I did it the old-fashioned way. I went to a theater, but
he had it, and he was like,
I would say.
Oh, I was at his house. He's like, "Hey, do you want to watch this? I just got it." And I was like, "Actually, I need to watch this."
Yeah, it becomes super convenient.
Yeah.
No, but I would say this one's like half worse than the first one and half better than the first one.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of groanable parts in this. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I'll admit I did make one call with it immediately, and as soon as I got done saying it, it happened. And it was when James and his wife left, and I looked at my friend like, he's gonna do the risky business slide. Watch. And then risky business slide. And I went, I mean, that's not Bob Seger playing, but you know.
Yeah. Bob Seger cost money. We don't want money. Although they did have lots of licensed music.
They had some surprise. Actually, I'm happy you brought that up, because they had some surprising choices in this. Like a Pantera for one. And no, I'm not.
I totally even missed Pantera. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. No, I noticed it right away. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
This is Pantera.
No, I remember like songs would pop up, and I'd be like, oh. I know that song. What?
I believe I heard 2 Live Crew as well.
Yeah.
That one, I was like, wait a minute. I want to double check. I don't think I'm right about that.
No, I'm digging it up right now because I don't remember what there was. But I remember
Run DMC. It's Run DMC.
Oh yeah, it's Tricky. Yeah. Yep, I do remember that. Yep.
That one, I was like, wait. A minute.
I see that. Like,
I was like, all right, Run DMC. But there also was
there's actually lots on here.
Yeah, there were a lot of great like song choices in there too. I did. And you know, for the story of what it was, I mean, a lot of it was more me and my buddy. We were trying to like remember the storyline from Sonic 2. The game. Like we were like, wait a minute, what's that? We pull our phones out and just like be Googling the plot to Sonic 2, the game.
Yeah.
Huh. Kind of. Let me just kind of remember. There really wasn't much of a plot. It's just more of race this level.
Yeah, exactly. That's a plot to a Sonic game.
Yeah, and don't fall in a pit or Spike.
Yeah, I will say well, these movies, it's interesting. They essentially, in a lot of ways, follow like what we brought up last week, the Star Trek IV, Beastmaster 2, Master of the Universe model, where we take these fantasy elements, just throw them into a regular world, for the most part.
Yeah.
Now, these movies don't do it as well as Star Trek 4, but they do it miles better than Masters of the Universe.
No, and Star Trek 4 doesn't do it as good as Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah.
With erotic cakes. Mm.
Sure. But, the beginning of this, we start out with Robotnik just on a crazy planet with crazy inventions, and he encounters Knuckles, and they team up for super villainy, and it's dopey, and I'm kind of on board with it.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of also super on board with the voice actor of Knuckles.
Oh yeah, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I was not expecting him to sound like Idris Elba. I was like, oh my god.
No, and I kind of want a cut of it to where anytime Knuckles is giving dialogue, like a little tiny picture will pop up of him recording the lines. So we get to actually watch it, because I guarantee you he just didn't stand there in front of a mic and read these lines. It sounds like he gave like a performance for some of these. And
no, it was a full performance. Yeah.
And I kind of want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really liked the point when he was just being incredibly literal.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I really like Idris Elba. Like Jim Carrey is fun in this too. He is chewing scenery like nobody's business in this goddamn
he is like,
movie.
He is Riddler level chewing scenery
in
this movie. And I'm here for it.
Like, no, this feels more appropriate than even like in the Riddler. Like this feels way more appropriate. Dr. Robotnik chewing scenery, of course he would.
and I didn't get tired of the stash puns. Like at all.
No, I actually didn't. No, it was over the top, but like it's
even
like,
the giant mecha robot at the end had a stash on it.
Yes. But after the opening, which is all right, I feel the movie starts going downhill, because pretty quickly we get to, like, on Earth, Sonic stops a bank robbery, and it's like, okay, fine. And then we quickly get to James Marsden and his wife going on honeymoon in Hawaii.
No, they're going to
and Sonic's in the house. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not honeymoon. They're going to her sister's wedding. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's a whole separate thing where I'm like, oh, God. Yeah.
we have time for this movie? Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a whole side quest in this movie that I wish was cut.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, all the human stuff is just blah, with the exception of Robotnik, which almost doesn't count.
Yeah. Because there was a few times I was like, oh, yeah, Jim Carrey's in this.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it had been so heavy with Sonic and Tails through most of it. Oh, yeah. And Tails shows up by tracking Sonic, and he's been tracking him since the first film, or events from the first film. And they just immediately become super best friends.
Yeah, of course.
And all is right. I think it's mostly just because Tails thinks Sonic is like just the absolute best in the world.
Yeah.
And Sonic is just super egotistical, so he's just like, yes,
oh, yeah.
Absolutely, we could whatever. Yes, that.
Well, that's something else I definitely want to bring up, because, Sonic is super egotistical, and he's essentially like a kid in this movie. But, like, I did find myself enjoying his character. It works.
And I totally did notice that they gave character growth to a CGI character in this.
Yeah.
Quite well.
It's one of the things that very much... Like, here's the thing. The CGI characters and Dr. Robotnik all work really well. It's only when we cut to the human characters where I'm kind of like, do we have to be doing this? Because it becomes so generic then.
Yeah.
Like, there's this whole subplot where the sister's getting married, but turns out the guy she's marrying is actually a secret agent, I assume trying to get close to Sonic. And they capture Sonic, and there's this whole plot where the sisters are using these Sonic devices to get
Tails' weapons. Yeah. Like,
and it's just as dumb as it sounds.
Yeah, but there was one point, and I will say the first genuine laugh had to do with the humans. And it was like when it was revealed to be a sham, and the priest just looks down and he opens the Bible, and there was a piece.
Oh yeah,
and
there was a gun. Yeah,
I'll admit,
that was cute.
That gave me a genuine laugh.
Yeah. Wait, are you even a priest? And it's like, here's a gun.
Just like the shame, and I was.
Yeah,
that gave me a genuine laugh, and her storming back and like kind of doing the action star get out of the golf cart. That also, I laughed genuinely at that. I thought that was kind of funny.
And that was also the scene where Barracuda plays. As much as I love Heart, I have to wonder if that song's on like a discount for movies.
Probably.
I hear it all the time.
It was either going to be that or Bad Reputation.
Yeah, I hear Bad Reputation a lot less now anymore, though.
Yeah, and I mean...
Well, I mean, Barracuda's a better song, but...
I mean, I think that if it were I would have just thrown Meredith Brooks a bone.
Hey, sure. I mean, actually, I wonder if they'd object to them playing Bitch.
Well, I mean, it's not being... the song's not derogatory.
No, it's not.
It's ownership.
Yeah. But yeah, soon after that wedding scene, though, I feel like that's when this movie really takes off, because it becomes this almost like video game cutscene thing. But it's an entertaining video game cutscene. It's insane, and I'm kind of on board at that point.
Yeah, especially, the notes that I have, like, when... right before Robotnik, Robotnik and Knuckles are after an emerald. That's like a superpower, and it could like give a being ultimate power and dominance overall sort of thing. So of course Robotnik wants it. They get to the island, and Robotnik ends up turning on Knuckles because this has been Knuckles' life mission to find this emerald and get it back for his people to save them and protect them. Robotnik turns on him and has, in my opinion, one of the most uncalled for jokes in the entire movie.
I don't remember what was it.
Robotnik says, just like a Limp Bizkit backstage pass, you serve me no more purpose. Right. And I was like, whoa.
That's right.
Whoa.
I remember, like, damn, shots fired at Limp Bizkit.
Wow.
Shit.
I like Polly Walnuts from The Sopranos reacted to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely a shot fired, man. My feeling towards Limp Bizkit are so weird.
But like still though, I mean mine are too, but whoa, that was uncalled for.
Well, it's one of those things. I remember Fred Durst was 100%. He was supportful of Napster when that whole controversy broke.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. I wish I liked your music better, because I really like. There's a couple songs that are maybe okay, and that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit the Riot show that they did recently, where he had like the dad vibes thing all set.
Yeah.
Like I watched the full set. Like it was entertaining. Yeah. It was. I laughing at all the dad jokes and stuff that he was making the entire time. Yeah, they were all actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Most of it was just it would be referencing things that we all in that age bracket know very well from our childhood, but we sound like we're idiots talking about them to people of a younger generation.
Yeah.
But it's more of us playing it off like, well, I'm the loser. You don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, like that's kind of funny. But yeah, uncalled for shots. Like, oh,
yeah, I know that joke did come out of nowhere. I was like, okay, Limp Bizkit. I guess we're not liking on them.
But anyways, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles eventually power up for like the ultimate power trio of just kick-assdom.
Well, yeah, but this is after Robotnik gets that green emerald thing and essentially it's treated like almost like the Infinity Gauntlet, like he can just do anything, where he doesn't actually do a huge amount considering his power level. But I mean, he does get a giant mech in there, so that's something.
I refer to them as Infinity Stones later.
Yeah. They do break up and then reform.
Yeah, I love how all those colors made one big green emerald.
Yeah. That's how colors work.
Yeah.
If you mix all the colors together, it turns green.
Emerald green.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
that's Sonic logic.
So
Sonic.
where this where the emerald is located is some sort of like it honestly looked like a level from the game.
Oh God, yeah.
And as soon as
I was watching it, like, God, this is like a Sonic level.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this, I was like, this looks like I advanced to the next level, and I am invested. This is cool.
Yeah,
like this.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm all right with this. But essentially, I don't know what we could call this, but I did come up with a name. So it's pretty much the Temple of the Raiders doomed Last Crusade in Jones, Indiana. That's the name of that temple that we were at.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. I do like how they did get a couple of shots of Sonic just running through it.
Yeah.
And it's like the 2D platformer shot, of course, and it's like, nice.
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was writing notes and my buddy was like, dude, look up. And I'm like, hold on. And I looked up, I was like, oh, yeah. And he's just like, man, I wish I still had my Sega. I went, yeah, I wish you still did too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it did make you think, oh, I kind of want to play Sonic.
Yeah, because I kind of want to play some Sonic right now. I kind of want to do a race.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes me wonder, like these video game movies, they're trying so hard to try to make them more cinematic. And this one I felt like was at its best when it just leaned hard into the fact it was
that it's a video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it just leans hard into it. And it's like, this is kind of fun.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where a lot of video game movies have really dropped the ball in the past.
Yeah.
Like let's just use the greatest example in this topic to just dive into a little just for this example, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I mean, as troublesome as that whole entire production of every aspect of it was, like, have you talked about this on your channel?
Super Mario Brothers movie, I don't think has ever come up.
Okay.
I haven't seen it since, I want to say, college. I think I rented it at college because I'd never seen it.
Maybe we should.
It's been like 2 years.
Maybe we should add it to the list because it's been a while since I've actually sat down and watched it. Other than just
I remember
in
it being
clips.
really bad.
I remember it being real bad too. I mean, I remember not even Hopper saving this movie.
No, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. You got Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper in this thing.
Yeah, you think like,
and it is shit.
I mean, between Hoskins and Hopper, like, this was a cakewalk for Leguizamo.
Yeah,
like between those two, like I would still say bring your A game because they're the type who would probably call you out on not bringing your A game. But I mean, I would say regardless of subject matter. However, the stories I've read I read this from an interview John did, where he talked about Bob had a bottle of scotch that the two of them would get absolutely plastered on every day because the movie was like so much bullshit with it. So it's like, so most of the stuff you see there, we're hammered. Mm-hmm. Like we're hammered drunk.
I guess we'll have to rewatch it. But I will say what I remember of that movie. Like, it tries to incorporate lots of elements to the video game, which I want to say good on it for that. Yeah, but it tries to have a logical explanation for it all.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, there is no logic. No. Stop that. And
I mean, I think I've watched the clip more of Dennis Hopper changing that businessman into a chimpanzee in a suit and him just looking and going, monkey.
Yeah.
I've watched that
that's
clip
the obvious
more.
thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing where, like, Koopas are dinosaurs evolving into humans is an obvious excuse to just have them be humans.
And the Goombas look... Yeah. They look more like Koopas than anything else?
Yeah, the thing with the giant head in the video game is now something with a tiny head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the tubes had nothing to do with any of it.
No.
The only thing that I would say resembled them, other than the suits that they wore at the end, is the tiny Bob-omb.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's that. Well, I like how they feel the need to give them the special boots too, so they can hop really high.
And
it's like, Just say you can hop really high in this universe. Fuck it, man.
Just like make the shoes that they're wearing with their plumber suits do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I feel like Sonic, when this movie works, that's what it's doing. It's just embracing the video game shit.
And
it's like just insanity.
It's not trying to add anything element or like incorporate anything new to the lore of it. It's like it's going off the lore that the built in. So okay, cool. Mm-hmm. We have him being like something to clear like a large space of area really quickly. Got it. Mm-hmm. Do. We need to go all over and do all this. Sonic, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
Yeah, I guess if I were to summarize this movie, I guess it shows what you can do if you have a video game with no real story. Yeah. And kind of turn it into something entertaining. Just make sure your lead character, that you like him.
Yeah.
Put in some over-the-top villains. Although Knuckles is back and forth. But yeah, Idris Elba's great in it.
Oh, he was great.
Tails was fine. And then, once you have those elements down, embrace the silliness. Go all in.
I feel that they did that, especially near the end. Like when the three of them were teamed up, they went, they cashed in on the video game thing and definitely leaned hard on the silly factor.
Yeah.
And, making Sonic even go like full atomic, which was really awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I was just like, all right, if that's badass.
If you're having trouble thinking of stuff for your human characters to do, just don't have them do anything. Every time you cut back to that side story, I was kind of like, oh, can we get back to Sonic? Can we?
Yeah, like when the James Marston's wife's sister, his sister-in-law, and her fiance were kind of like reconciling or whatever. I remember going like, we actually have time for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Are we supposed to be invested in these characters? Like, do we have?
I know.
We have time for this.
Well, I don't know the exact time of this movie, but wasn't it right around 2 hours?
About an hour and 45.
It probably could have done better if it was 90. No, 2 hours and 2 minutes is what I have.
Okay.
Yeah, cut that down to 90 and just do all the cuts from the human side.
Yeah.
Just have James Marsden and his wife go to the sister's wedding.
You guys behave.
And that's it. Yeah.
Don't even have don't even have like the conclusion of the movie be there. Just.
Yeah. Well, do a whole video game movie and then they get back. Hey, is anything happened? Nope. Everything's good here.
Nope. It's all good.
Yeah. I heard about a giant mech attacking the city. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry.
It's all right. Taken care of. But
they did feel tacked on.
At the end of the battle, Sonic went full atomic and ran around the head of Robotnik's giant mech suit and decapitated it. And he escaped. They didn't really say anything what happened, or at least maybe it was a credit scene I missed. But but the stones are all broken, and all they really needed to be whole and powerful again was just the power of love.
Yeah, and I didn't care at that point. It was dumb.
No,
I was having fun.
I mean, I was having fun, but I really thought like, if Huey Lewis in the News was to play at that moment, I also I would have not objected.
Yeah, just lean into it.
Yeah, the Infinity Stones, all they needed was just Huey Lewis in the News and the power of love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess in the end, if you're looking for me saying, do I recommend going to see this? Maybe a lukewarm, yes. Maybe a matinee.
Yeah.
Maybe go to watch the very beginning and then come back like an hour later.
Yeah, like watch the first 20 minutes.
But yeah, it's good. It's good enough.
It's good enough, yes. Knuckles was also like a little mini Drax at times.
Yeah.
Being quite literal, and it was funny. That's just my
Idris
last
Elba was always awesome.
Yeah. Idris Elba was great, and I really just want like video of him performing these lines. Some of them were just so funny. I was just like, I want to see his face as he read that.
Oh. And here's something I want to bring up before we leave Sonic 2 here.
Yeah.
So I brought up the poster here because it's the main poster I could find. Do you want to see the video game poster?
Yes.
Here. Oh, actually, I guess it's the box art, but here it was for Sonic 2.
Yes. I
was like, that's awesome.
I noticed that immediately because I remember that coming out.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, are we ready to talk about something not nearly as good?
Yeah.
All right. Doctor Strange 1978 TV movie. Part of the reason I want to do a podcast is because I kind of want to explore some of the older stuff that I just don't have time for. So now I have to apologize for Bobby, because now we've seen Doctor Strange.
Yeah, this was...
and all
this was interesting.
VHS quality.
Yeah,
VHS.
this... I mean, for 78 TV, I'll admit there were a few moments that I was like, okay, that's kind of cool production. Him first stepping inward and like they did like the trick with just putting a cone over the camera. I mean, I was like, all right, that's cool. Cool. That's probably the coolest thing in this entire movie. And it was.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of history behind this, because this was another pilot they made after the success of The Incredible Hulk. They did a pilot for this, and then I don't know if they did a pilot or a couple episodes of the Spider-Man show.
I think it was a couple episodes, because I found when I was first helping you try and track something of this down, I found the Spider-Man pilot.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, but this never got a couple episodes. This was just a pilot, and oh God, I know why.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a chore. Oh my God.
The actor playing Strange, or I'm sorry, based off that picture, is more like Pimp Daddy Strange.
I know.
Oh man, it was like, I don't know if flat even begins to describe it.
Well, he was flat, but I also want to say, like, how it was written. This is not like like Stephen Strange is classically a real kind of piece of shit. Until his hands get crushed, and then he's still a piece of shit, and he destroys himself trying to repair his hands, and that's kind of how it evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never get that here.
No. No, not really.
I don't have the animated movie on the lineup, and maybe next time there's a Doctor Strange movie, we'll cover that one. But I remember the animated movie, like, there being a thing where, like, hey, doctor, this patient needs your help. You're the best in the field. She really needs your help. And he's like, what insurance does she have? And they're like, well, she doesn't have any insurance. Is she wealthy? No. Well, is there going to be any prestige in take care of this case? No. Well, then why do I care? And he walks away. It's like, damn. Man,
damn, dude.
Yeah. No, he's a piece of shit. And then this one he's just a
guy. Kind of a...
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even recall them, like, I don't recall him being a particularly, like, talk about being a great doctor, because he is supposed to be a great doctor. He's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was a piece of shit for different reasons, though.
Yeah. Really? I didn't get any, like, flavor from him at all.
I kind of did a little when he was, like, I think it was near the end when he was at that meeting. I was like, do you want to watch, sir? Yeah, well, make sure that you look at it. Or make sure you sometimes look at it. And just,
yeah.
I'm just, the fuck is this? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't wait till getting to Daredevil. I'm just going to say that's really my notes. I think most of the notes I have are just like, yeah, this sure isn't Daredevil.
I don't even know if it's Doctor Strange. It's somebody who has the name Doctor Strange.
I think I only added one to the like folders notes for this.
Yeah. I have a couple of notes I think on this one, but
mine was just yeah.
The main villain is Morgan Le Fay, played by Jessica Walters, and she's definitely the most well-known actress here.
Only one I recognized.
Yeah, only one I recognize too. I think Peter Hooton played Doctor Strange, and
no Stan Lee cameo though.
No, he probably looked at the script and said, "Fuck, I want a cameo on this. You guys just do your thing. I'm out." Yeah, I think it's worth noting. I just said the whole Doctor Strange origin. None of that is in here. He's still a doctor at the end of this. There's no self-destruction. There's no nothing.
And
he just a dude who gets magical powers. Apparently, he's destined for it for some shit.
Like
not fully explained.
No, who has time? That's why they're hoping it was going to be a series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking you to explain everything in a pilot, but
it helps.
Dude, at least put his origin in there. Put a proper origin in there for him.
Yeah,
I think their hope was to mix the superhero thing with a medical drama. I do think that was their hope, but
Doctor by day,
no
superhero in the multiverse. Doctor Strange. Wednesdays at 6.
Yeah. 80% of the episodes will just be a doctor drama, and then the other 20% they'll actually do some Doctor Strange
Tonight
stuff.
on Doctor Strange, the crossover event you've been waiting for. Doctor Strange, Insane Elsewhere.
Yes, Insane Elsewhere.
I mean, actually, I'd watch it. Ed Flanders was fucking.
Yeah. But yeah, this is... I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I think we do need to bring up, I believe, Morgan Le Fay. I don't think it's ever named, but she's talking to some sort of boss. And I assume it's probably supposed to be like Dormammu.
Yeah,
But it looks so cheap. It looks awful.
It does. And, I mean, I'm only saying in the sense of cheap props. Because... This past weekend, I went to a local theater production of a Little Shop of Horrors, and actually it was great.
Ooh, nice,
great. The plant and everything looked great, but it made me think of the other productions I've seen of it where the plant did not look that great. But I was fortunate enough to see a show where actually the plant looked amazing.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, no, this was awful.
Yeah, well, I mean. We have Wong there for sure, and I thought Wong was killed, but apparently he's fine.
No, and apparently Wong is like way more of a badass than the current MCU is letting him be. Because Wong was more of a badass.
Not like you've seen much. And then there's like a mentored character, which I didn't catch his name, mainly because I wasn't super engaged.
Neither.
There's no Mordo.
No, or like
which one?
No Grand Master, but there's mention of the Grand Master.
Well, I think of
Ancient One. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could do Grandmaster. I'm always up for more Jeff Goldblum, but but only if it's Jeff Goldblum.
So my last housemate left all of a sudden, but fortunately through my work, a position came up in Los Angeles, so I needed to find a new housemate.
Hello.
The Grandmaster was the only one who answered my Craigslist ad.
Imagine that. I was the only one. Well, lucky me.
Or what if it's just like the Master?
Ooh. Manos, the Hands of Fate.
No, not that. I'm talking like a Doctor Who-verse.
Oh. Depends which actor's doing them.
The original from Tenet. Or not the original Master, but the
original from
Tenet. No, the first the actor who played it from the Tenet years.
I like I don't remember his name. I believe it was the second guy who played it during now you're gonna have me dig it up. He played it during Pertwee. God, what's his name? He was great. Doctor.
Or maybe just the actor who played the Master in the Tenet years. Like the John Saxton character, if he were to play the Master in the Manos remake, then that would be, pretty all right.
Oh yes, Anthony Ainsley. He was so over the top. I loved him. So yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. I want to say it was like Sims that did it during Tenet. John Sim. I think I like Michelle Gomez better than that. She was kind of over the top, too. But yeah. Side quest. Mainly because I'd rather talk about Masters of Doctor Who than...
No, that's...
Doctor Strange 78. No. So Doctor Strange TV pilot 78, I definitely... it's tough to track down and it's not worth it.
It really isn't.
This first entry in the Doctor Strange-a-thon we're doing, not worth it.
No, it really isn't.
There's a reason this thing hasn't even gotten a DVD release.
It's also like, I don't think it's a good representation of the lore of Doctor Strange either.
No, probably it's the best representation. I'm not super familiar with the character of Morgan Le Fay, so I don't know. I don't even like what they did because they added a thing where like she was hot for him, and that was part of her motivation apparently.
Yeah.
It was kind of, do we need this, guys? Doing that was so weird. So this, outside maybe Wong, this is not a good representation of any of these characters.
No, far from it.
Yeah, do you have any extra thoughts before we go to Daredevil?
Damn you.
Yeah, we just go to Daredevil too.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything.
And before we do, I just want to stress again, I apologize, Bobby. Sorry for watching this. If anybody watch this podcast, just don't.
It's all good. I think I've made you watch some that were just that I've had to apologize for.
Kinda, but like God, I'd much rather watch. I don't know if any of the ones you've made me watch, I was quite as bored as I was during this one.
Honestly, one that I thought you would absolutely hate, you did love, and I was surprised at that. And that was Trick or Treat.
Oh, Trick or Treat was fun. I dug that.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, no, that was kind of dumb fun. I was kind of on board that crazy zombie rocker or whatever. Fucking cool, whatever.
Satanic evils of rock music.
Yeah, that was fun. I would watch that so many times before I watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Just put it on repeat rather than watch this. Okay, but let's move on to a much better Marvel property with Daredevil, the last one episode of season 4, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of the concluding arc for the first season. And it's really good, honestly. I really like what they did with this first season.
Yeah, I was very much impressed.
Yeah, it's really well done. I think, like, we get the introduction of the red costume at the end of this season. And at first I wasn't thrilled with it, but every time I see it, I swear it grows on me.
Yeah, I kind of didn't like how they weren't showing it at first, and I was just like, oh, come on. I've been like griping about how I don't care for this like black, like homemade look for the whole season. I just want to see it at this point. And I was very pleased with it.
Yeah, it works, especially for the show. I love this version of the Kingpin, especially.
Yeah.
This version of all the characters. I don't want to say that especially, because all the characters are like, this is great. I like all these main characters. I guess, do we want to talk about Ben Urich? Because I don't even know if we've brought him up yet.
The journalist? Yes, we have. Yeah, I think we really we've touched base on him throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
Like, we've gotten the impression that Ben used to be like what a journalist should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, exposing the truth, being honest with his audience, and getting his audience the story that they deserve. But yeah, Ben is just a solid journalist, and again, just doing what journalists should do. Get their audience the story that they deserve and the truth. But he's been, I believe, earlier in the season, he was moved off to a different desk. So he was writing different stuff, which isn't what he does. And he kind of was just giving puff pieces like, whatever, here's this.
Yeah, they essentially gave him all the puff assignments, and he kept on like passing it off to somebody else and doing like the story he wants to do, the actual story. Yeah. Figuring out who this guy at the top is, this crime lord is, and stuff like that, who the masked man is, figuring out how it all comes into play. And they're trying to just be like, hey, cover the kids' high school soccer game. He's like, okay.
Hey, go to the state fair. There's like butter carving. Go cover that.
Yeah.
No.
Sure. I'm on it. You cover that. You. But yeah.
You, intern, here's $50. Go to the fair and give me 100 words.
it's actually a character I'm familiar with from the comic book, mainly from Spider-Man comic books, because in the comic book he actually works for the Daily Bugle, and he is a character that would get in confrontations with Jameson a lot over his coverage of stuff. Like, and you can tell why, because Jameson's definitely a sensationalist, and Yorick's just looking for the real story.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was always like a very respectable character, and I feel it transfers really well here, even though he's obviously not working for the Bugle.
Yeah.
And of course, the Daily Bugle in the MCU is something different than we're used to, but that's not established yet.
No, the Bugle isn't really, I mean, we've kind of touched base with what the Bugle is, sort of, but like, I mean, we've seen it in Spider-Man No Way Home, and it went from what appears just to be J. Jonah Jameson broadcasting from his basement.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to watching that again, because I still want to see, like when we see him broadcasting from the basement, do we see that he's not wearing pants? Because that'd be hilarious.
I don't know, but the last time I rewatched it recently, and I did notice something, and it was, I like had to kind of pause the scene, because I did pause that scene just to kind of take a look at everything, mostly just because I wanted to see what was going on in the background behind him. And like, I believe it was behind him. I saw a bunch of news clippings and everything. There were stuff that was like one that I was able to kind of read, and it was like, Tony Stark is Iron Man, and a lot of stuff about Iron Man, and just some of the other like smaller headlines that are kind of Avenger or MCU storyline related. And it was kind of like, all right, interesting. It seems like these are a lot of headlines that would have been bashing Iron Man the whole time. So you went from bashing Tony Stark to now bashing a teenage kid, Jonah. Yeah,
well, I mean, that's his MO. I mean, it is interesting how they turned him into the MCU's Alex Jones, let's be real.
They really did.
Yeah.
But the only difference is Alex wouldn't have the balls to show up anywhere.
That's true. Jameson does show up.
Alex Jones doesn't have the balls to show up anywhere.
No. Unless the court makes him.
Even with a daily fine, he doesn't have the balls to show up.
Mm-hmm. But he does have the balls to call things false flags that are clearly not false flags.
And call things that are
I don't know if that's actual balls.
Obviously not hoaxes.
Yes. Yay.
But we could just take fact in knowing that Alex Jones has no balls.
Yeah, no, I do believe that's been scientifically proven. I do believe they found that out.
Yeah, he is in fact a coward. I'm not referring to his genitalia at all. What I'm referring to the fact that he just has no courage, no nothing. I'm calling him balls, but yeah, he is a coward.
No, I'm referring to both.
He does look like Varys. Not as smart or crafty.
Maybe a bit. No, not remotely.
No, nowhere near. In fact, I feel like I've insulted Varys by comparing the two.
I know.
And Varys is a fictional character.
Let's just say Jameson is Alex Jones, but not as bad.
Yeah. Not as horrible of a human being.
Yeah.
A fictionalized
But yeah, I really like this version of Ben Urich.
Yeah, I do too. I enjoyed the actor too.
Yeah, he really does a great job, which is total spoilers, which you should be used to.
Yeah.
It's sad when Kingpin murders him.
Just like
God
that.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of a hard scene to watch.
Yeah. No, I knew it was coming. I was like, "Oh god.
Yeah.
This is where it's over."
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of deaths that I wasn't as heartbroken about, we now saw how Wesley dies.
Yeah,
And yeah.
Cool.
I was like, God, how did I forget that? Yeah. No, he was such a sleazy guy.
Yeah. Karen just blasted him away.
Yeah. I like how he's like, you think I'm dumb enough to put a loaded gun on the desk? And I'm like,
yes.
dude, you obviously are not like a regular killer. You're more just a talk guy. Yeah, I think you are. And that's
the first time somebody didn't back down from that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it in your face when she clicked it. It was like, oh, she ain't bluffing, pal.
Yeah. It freaks her out, which it should, but you know what? I do not feel sorry for her.
No, but she snapped out of it.
A wormy piece of shit.
She did snap out of it and just continued to plug them with rounds. And then she truly went into shock and then got the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, she started... she was smart enough to like start fixing up the room too and start wiping away fingerprints and stuff like that.
She wiped off her prints off the table.
Like you could tell she was freaked out, but then she just started cleaning up.
She's and smart on her.
Oh yeah. And I do think it's interesting, all these characters and all these pieces, and yet it does essentially become Leland, who I'm pretty sure we haven't brought up, Leland Owsley, as essentially the guy who essentially brings down Kingpin.
Yeah.
He's played by Bob Goosen, who was probably most famous for The Shawshank Redemption as the terrible warden.
Yeah.
Like he was essentially the money guy for Kingpin throughout this series. And he does attempt to poison Kingpin's girlfriend, which goes over really well. But what he does have, the reason why he's so ballsy is he does have security policy where essentially he has a cop who worked for Kingpin hidden away in a safe house. And if he doesn't contact him in 24 hours, he goes to the police and talks.
Yeah, it's every 24 hours.
Yeah. And Kingpin gets so pissed off about this guy doing this shit, mainly probably poisoning Vanessa, that he does not give a shit and just kills him.
He throws him down an elevator shaft.
Yeah. And then essentially it becomes a race against time. Who will find this cop first? Will it be Kingpin, who has all his guys all over the place, or will it be Daredevil? And it gets pretty close, but Daredevil does pull it off.
Yeah.
And it is kind of crazy. This money guy brings down Kingpin.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny how Daredevil, I guess, he kind of he lays it out for this cop. He's like, you have one of two options.
Mm-hmm.
Either I leave you here and leave him to whoever gets to you first.
Yeah.
Or you start talking.
Yeah, you go tell him what you know. No strings attached.
No strings attached.
Everything.
You tell him everything. You give yourself and everyone up. Or I leave you to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like he has a choice. It's
no. And also he also did witness Daredevil beat the ever living shit out of all these guys right in front of him.
Yeah, I want to say there was 5 or 6 of them right there.
Because it was first like all those guys who were the banker's men, and then then Kingpin's cops came in and started head blasting all of them. So all of those guys are dead, and it's just Kingpin's cops all have guns on him. And then he closes his eyes, just ready for it to happen. Daredevil saves his ass right there. You hear until they wake up, or you go to the cops. That was kind of nice because he's sitting there still in shock, blood still on his face, and he's like, no, I'll you're gonna go to this precinct and talk to this officer.
It's either I'll keep an eye on you while you walk to the police precinct, or I just fucking leave you here. What would you rather? But yeah, so he goes, reports to the cops. Now, of course, that's not the end of it.
No.
Because Kingpin they get a lot of the cops, but he has a lot still. And they almost break him out. And that leads to the final fight, which, God, I love the fights in this series.
Yeah. Oh, there's one thing that we're not talking about. There is a whole episode we get of Foggy and Matt kind of having a conversation about Matt being Daredevil. And we see a lot of their backstory about how they met and first became friends and in college. And, Matt's revealing a lot of stuff that he's never told him. And, I think Foggy takes it as well as anyone can take a lot of that information at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He takes it about as well as anyone can expect to take it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting question Foggy brought up. It's like, so our entire relationship, every time I've told a lie, you knew, and you just played along.
That was kind of great. Like, oh,
damn.
Yeah. Whereas, like, so, like, wait a minute, you can tell someone's lying by their heartbeat. So all those times in the courtroom, and he's just, he's like, that's immoral, and he's just, I know. But I mean,
I'm kind of cheating, but
I'm kind of cheating, but you know, he's hired if he were real.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's where last episode leaves off with Foggy finding him, and yeah, that conversation, it's rough for Foggy to get over. Although it does, at the end of this season, it is like, it feels nice.
Yeah, and you do kind of see Foggy realize Matt's reasoning, and he sees why it's necessary. Because Foggy gets his hands dirty a little bit near the end of this, and it's like, all right, I knew you always had it in you.
No, I love the characters in this, and and if it's not for Daredevil in this, not only would Kingpin not be busted, after he was busted, he would have gotten out.
Yeah.
Daredevil tracks him down, and that's where we get the first reveal of the red suit, which, like I said, it grows on me. Every time I see it, I like it more and more. It kind of works. And yeah, there's a big old slugfest between these two. And yeah, I'm totally down for it.
Oh, yeah. Kingpin still gets some good licks in, but, you know, Daredevil still whoops that ass.
I guess before we leave off the Daredevil here, I do want to talk a little bit about Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, because I loved him throughout this series.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. He did a great job.
He is. I feel Vince is a very much underappreciated actor.
Oh yeah, well, he's always great in the villain roles. Always.
He's great in almost everything.
True, but I feel like he really shines as a villain.
He does. He does. I feel that he really shines well as like a tortured soul, not necessarily a villain. But like I'm pulling more for the movie Steal This Movie, where he portrayed Abby Hoffman.
I see. I haven't seen that one, but
there's moments where he's depicting Abby in like struggles of mental health, and like he's putting so much energy and emotion into like his line delivery, and like you see it and you feel it. Like he's screaming just in so much pain, and tears are rolling down his cheeks. It's just like, see, this is how you depict somebody struggling with it, because like that's it right there. That right there. You know, and then later next him just being completely disassociative and just like it's like, there you go. Good job.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
he's good. He's great.
It's tough to visualize anybody else playing Kingpin after this performance here. Like, I guess we technically got Liev Schreiber in Spider-Verse, but that's animated.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's. See, this is he was voice acting, yes.
Yeah.
Which is different than like motion capture acting, which like how most, you know, video games now are depicted with motion capture actors. And he gave a great performance as Kingpin, but like still, like I don't think that they gave Kingpin necessarily a lot to do in this.
No,
it was or in Spider-Man.
In that, yeah. But yeah, they give him a lot to do. I mean, really, they give him more to do in Hawkeye than they do in Spider-Verse. I feel, which is not even that much.
And it was weird in Hawkeye. It almost seems that, you know, he was trying to rebuild, or at least he was working for somebody.
Yeah,
because whoever rolled up on him and shot him, he seemed awfully scared, And I mean, it's I'm curious to know, who is Wilson Fisk scared of?
Yeah, that's a good question. I assume we'll get more in the Echo series whenever that comes out.
Or we might get more in Ironheart when that comes out.
That's true. Well, I heard a rumor that both Daredevil and Kingpin are supposed to be in the Echo series. Which Kingpin I would 100% expect. Daredevil, okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm still curious how they're gonna really bring him back into the MCU.
I know. Will we get to see, like, is this going to be Matt Murdock in a cameo in that series, or is it actually going to be Daredevil?
Like, are we going to get, like, a Daredevil, like, a new season?
That'd be nice.
That would be really nice.
But if they bring back Daredevil and he's in the exact same costume he's in this series, I'm going to say this series is canon. I don't know how else you can get around
I mean, if he has a new one.
If he has a new one, then it's still a question.
Like, let's say that we go to wherever his apartment is, or he meets, I don't know, Kate Bishop there, or Peter Parker, or Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Daredevil go. And, I have a place nearby. You can get patched up there. Or, whatever. And we see it on the wall or something. Or even a shot of Daredevil, like, putting on his stuff. And we see that suit or from this series on the wall. But with a newer one. This series has to be canon. But, like, they've still made mention of MCU events in these.
Well, that's the thing. All these series have mentions of MCU events. The issue is outside of No Way Home and Hawkeye, obviously.
Yeah.
Which even then, it's kind of tangential. There's no reference to these TV series in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I believe both Daredevil Season 3 and Jessica Jones Season 3 take place during the blip, I believe. And don't have a reference to it. I don't know if they can fudge the timeline on that, if they canonize that. But it gets really fuzzy. But yeah, I do hope they canonize this. I don't know. We would have to see. Like, I think Daredevil's great. I think Jessica Jones has got some great stuff. Luke Cage had some good stuff. And Iron Fist needs some work.
I think it was maybe recasting.
I don't know. I think he could maybe do an okay job, but man, like they didn't. Like I remember they didn't give there was a big issue with the martial arts in that series, and it was not great. Yeah. And I remember part of the issue being that it was super rushed production on that one.
Yeah, I kind of felt it with the first episode because when they were setting up the character of Iron Fist, I kind of felt like, why do I feel like this guy is just a diet Tony Stark?
Yeah, it was. And it felt really weird, like watching Daredevil and the great action scenes in Daredevil. And then you go to Iron Fist where everything's just kind of sloppy. It's like, why? What happened? Well,
Now who knows? Maybe I know that it's the Doctor Strange trailer that first introduced or that teased the Professor Xavier.
Yes. You hear what very much sounds like Patrick.
Well, you hear Patrick Stewart,
and I believe
Patrick
he is
Stewart.
rumored. Yeah.
You hear
it is a
Patrick
distinctive
Stewart.
voice. So yeah,
you don't. Yeah, I mean, it's as distinctive as It's like if you were to hear Patrick Stewart singing Rawhide, you know that's Patrick Stewart singing Rawhide.
You used to hear Patrick Stewart sing anything, you know it's Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart's Cowboy Classics.
Keep rolling, 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 though the streams are swollen. Keep them doggies rolling, rawhide. Through rain and wind and weather, hell bent for leather. Wishing my gal was by my side. Cut 'em out, ride 'em in, let 'em out, cut 'em out, ride 'em in, rawhide.
I meant to look that up because I think I saw that and
I shared it
about it.
I shared it on my personal Facebook page. Yeah, so you could. Yeah.
Well, I watched. Okay, yeah, that might be it. Yeah. I was like, I saw that one trailer you sent me. It looks like bad fun.
What trailer was that again? Oh, the
Evolver?
Yeah.
Yeah. John Delancey, cool. The rest not so much, but
Ethan Embry?
It's gonna be
Ethan
Embry? Gonna be better than
Doctor.
It's gonna be better than Doctor Strange 78.
I mean, it kind of is if you think about like a lot of the practicality of it. I have faint memories of this movie. Like I remember watching that movie on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was a kid. Like I remember tuning in to see Mystery Science Theater one day. I think it was when I learned about like those like time changes, like when we fall back. So I tuned in to normally when it would be on, and it wasn't. And I was super mad about it. I had to sit through this awful movie to watch Mystery Science Theater. And ended up enjoying the movie anyways.
But yeah, some of those cheesy ones work out really well. So, but Daredevil's not cheesy. I think I've already said it. I love this series. I don't think I have much left to add to it.
Yeah, I don't like.
But yeah, any final thoughts on Daredevil? Or then it's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to see what Marvel does with it now that it's back under its umbrella.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see. I do think it's weird how they wiped Netflix from it pretty much entirely.
Oh yeah, how they've just replaced that Netflix thing with the Marvel logo.
Yeah.
I thought
Marvel's Daredevil. Well, I mean, you're not.
Well, I mean,
you're
no. Not. I mean, yes. However, I mean, it's not like they did a bad job of it or anything.
No. I love how they just put on Disney Plus and they just brought it over completely and
cool just deal. Like and put a casual warning at the beginning of it. This show contains a lot of violence.
Yeah. No, there's gonna be. This show's bloody as shit.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, I think that's everything we're gonna cover this week.
Yeah.
Let me dig up what the plan is for next week here. Ooh, loading. The plan for next week is loading. We're gonna be loading next week. It's gonna be very exciting. Oh, that's not why.
We're gonna just recreate every scene from Law and Order where they go to ask somebody, where no matter what, they will either move or remove an item for every answer to every question that the detectives will ask.
Mm-hmm.
It happens,
and
in every
time
episode.
We have a cut, we'll have the chun
dun.
Oh, so next week we have Doctor Strange 2016.
All right.
So that's a lot better. We're going to be doing Sense8 instead of Fantastic Beast, which we will get to next week. I need to write up a little statement for that.
Sense8?
And then, yes, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Sense8 episodes 1 through 4. And then Moon Knight episodes 1 through 3, which I am interested to catch up on Moon Knight.
I've already started Moon Knight in preparation.
I saw the first one. I saw the first
two. It's all right.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't seen the second one yet. I will say I loved the
it's
first
all right.
one. Oh my god.
You're going to love the second.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to the first 3 next
week. But we will get more
fun.
into that next week.
Yeah. So everyone have a good one.
Yep, take care.
I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job, but I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.